Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jay from Sony AFFILIATTE, and what I got here is the Sony RX100 II. Check it out. Pretty nice camera. It's an awesome camera actually, and it's got this new articulating screen that I wanted to show you a little closer. When you go to pull the screen out, you can't just grab it by the bottom and yank it. I mean, you can, but it kind of catches a little bit. Right up here, there's like a little lip. And when you try to pull the screen out, you just got to be a little careful. That's the only reason I'm showing you this. So when the screen's all the way in, I'm going to show you. Watch what happens. Right here. Hear that? It kind of got caught. So you really want to just pull this out first and then articulate it. Alright, so this is how I recommend you grab the screen, like this with 2 fingers, pull it out, then you can get it where you need it if you want it in this position and so on. Alright? That's that. I just wanted to get that out of the way and show you. That's how I recommend you handle the screen. Another thing I wanted to show you quick was the ports. Here's the USB port on the side. It's got this little plastic door here. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get the USB cord in there because of this door. It's like always in the way, so you're kind of like trying to get it in and then it ends up getting jammed. You know, you hold your finger like this, and it's just like a little bit harder than it needs to be. You know, it's definitely a nitpick, but worth noting. On top of that, what we got here is the new standard hot shoe, and it's proprietary Sony, so you can only use Sony stuff. Some stuff may work in here, but for the most part, it's got to be Sony. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. And then on the front here, we have the Carl Zeiss lens. Very nice. I'm just going to turn it on. See how when it opens, how much it comes out. I'll get over to the back and watch what happens when you, in aperture priority mode, when you change the zoom ring, those numbers come up for the aperture. See that? I'm using the manual zoom ring. Now watch when I change it to shutter priority mode. Now when you turn the ring, it's showing me shutter speed. See that? And then when you go into full auto mode, I'm just going to go to superior auto mode. I'm going to show you what when you use the manual zoom ring. Whoops, I just hit record by accident. Alright, so the record button you can hit by accident. That was another little nitpick I wanted to share, and notice how I just did it. So anyway, what I wanted to show you was the manual zoom ring. Notice when you zoom how it comes up with this cool intuitive, you know, zoom chart here, so you can go to like 50mm equivalent. I really like that, and it works great. So if you want to go right to 100mm, bam, you know. So that's a great feature, I think, and it's worth pointing out. That's when you're in the creative modes and you use the zoom ring. And you could also use the zoom toggle here, but notice when you use the zoom toggle, it just comes up with the X factor. See the X factor there? 1.2, 2.2, and so on. Check this out. When you hit function, on the bottom you can see it's all grayed out because I'm in full auto mode, so I can't change anything. But here's the options. So let me switch my mode. I'm just going to go to aperture priority mode, like so. Alright, click OK, just hit the center button. So anyway, when you hit the function button, notice here on the bottom you have the main function, you know, features or modes that you can scroll through. White balance, ISO, exposure compensation. And when you scroll through each one, notice up top how when you scroll left to right, the options change. So I can go to picture effects here, it's set to off right now, but if I scroll through, now it's going to go through the different picture effects. See that? So that's how that works. I'm just going to turn that back off. Alright, so then what I wanted to show you was the menu. When you hit the menu button, you're introduced to a nice Pro style menu. And then if you scroll down here, you can control with your smartphone. See that? Whoops. That's the, you know, if you have the smartphone app Play Memories, you can download it for your phone, and then you can basically take pictures, zoom in and out, and, you know, with your phone, and you can have the camera on a tripod 10 feet away or something. It works really well. I actually played with it, and it does work. And this is where you turn that on. It's in here. So I'm using regular JPEG image quality right now, and I'm just going to go through this menu really quick to give you an idea of how I have the camera set, you know, just for playing around, having fun for the review. Right now I have flash set off, focus modes, autofocus area set to multi. I have the skin smoothing off and the auto object framing turned off. I also have smile face detect on, and then if you hit right, it'll bring you to the next menu. Right now I'm using auto ISO, and pretty much everything is default here. Picture effects off. Let me just go one more over. The color space on the bottom here I have set to Adobe RGB because I'm using Adobe Lightroom, so I like the additional colors. I'm resaving them for the web anyway, so I am converting them to sRGB, which is what the default setting is here. I recommend using sRGB if you're not going to resave your images for the web. Otherwise you're going to have problems. If you're going to resave your images for the web and you understand the differences in color spaces and stuff, you might want to use the Adobe RGB. Clear image zoom I have turned off, and digital zoom I have turned off. Those features will give you extended zoom ranges. I actually have it turned off though, just for ease, because when I zoom in, it'll automatically go to that mode and just keep zooming in further when you have those features turned on, and I don't particularly like that all the time, so I have it turned off. Shooting tip list, you can go in there and check it out if you want. Memory I wanted to show you. This is where you can create your memory areas, so you can set the camera up however you want, and then you can scroll. You have 3 options here, and then on the top of the camera there's an actual MR option. See this? MR. Wait for the camera to focus. It might be too close. There it is, MR, see it? So when you go to memory recall, you click OK, and then you can scroll to whichever memory recall you have, and you can have your camera set up. So in other words, you can have one of these set up for like HDR or night shots or sports shots or portraits or something like that, and then you can just go to memory recall, boom, you know, number 2 is HDR, number 3 is portraits, and your camera's all set up. It's a very nice feature. It's a very powerful feature. A lot of the pro cameras have this. My Canon 5D Mark II Pro camera that I use for professional work, that has these types of features. So, you know, this camera really is powerful. It's a pro grade camera, and like I said, my only real nitpick is the screen could be a little bit better built, a little more rigid, and these USB port doors, again, stupid little nitpicks, but that type of stuff bothers me, you know, on the door. The other thing I wanted to show you was the flash. So let me just go to aperture priority mode here. I have the flash turned off right now, but if you hit this button here on the right of the wheel, it'll bring you to your flash modes. Right now I have it set to off, auto flash, fill flash. If I hit fill flash, it's going to pop the flash up. See that? Boom, the flash just popped up. Here it is. It's a very well made flash. The bracketry on it is high quality, and you know, it's just really well made if you get a closer look at it. Just like the RX1 pretty much that I recently reviewed. It's just, you know, the engineering is high quality. It's not cheesy in any way, and you just push it down and it clicks back in. And there's different flash modes, of course. I just like to have the flash off personally. I don't really like to use it too much unless I have to. So default, I have it turned off. There's a couple other things I wanted to show you in here. Here's the different formats for video. Right now I'm just using MP4. That's the easiest way to go if you're just going to upload to the web. The quality is not as good. It's much lower quality. You can see the resolution is significantly lower. But it's very easy to, you know, like I said, just instantly upload to the web, and the files are very small. So for my purposes, I'm probably just going to use MP4 this. Active steady shot I have turned on. That works excellent, and you're going to want that on. It's like image stabilization on steroids pretty much, and it works amazingly well, as you'll see in the sample video. File format, let me just click on that. If you go to AVC HD and then you scroll down, you can see how much bigger the file sizes are. And here's where you can select the, you know, 660p if you want, or 24p. This is the option I normally use if I'm going for maximum quality. I usually use 24p. In here is where your setup stuff is. I have rule of thirds set for my grid line. I kind of like that. You see that overlaid on the screen when you look. See how I have the rule of thirds? You can see the crosses on the screen there. Let's go back to the menu. Peaking level, I have that turned off right now. That's focus peaking. If you're using manual focus, it helps you with by highlighting the contrast areas. It works really well. I have all this stuff on standard. Movie, here's where you can turn that movie button off. I have it set to always, but like I said, I do occasionally hit the button accidentally, so you might want to turn that off. Face priority tracking on, I have that turned on. I highly recommend that if you're trying to take pictures of kids and stuff. It'll auto, you know, it just helps. It sees a face and it'll prioritize the focus on the face and it does a really good job. Highly recommend using that feature. I believe it's on by default, but if it's not, it's right here. Turn it on. For some reason on the Sony cameras you have different folders where it stores your images and your videos. See this? So depending on what you took last, whether it was a video or a photo, when you hit the play button here, it's going to bring you to that area. You got to go to right here, still movie select, and then you got to select the folder. So I'm going to go to folder view MP4. Alright, and now I'm in the video folder, and these are all the videos that I took with the camera so far. See that? And here's another spot where you can change the folder that you're in. See that? Now I'm viewing the photos. So that's how you change that option, and that's one of those things that you just need to be shown because it'll throw you off if you get this camera for the first time. You go take a video and then you hit play and you watch your video, right? And then you go and take a photo and then you hit play again to show somebody the video and you can't find it. You're like, where the hell did the video go? Well, that's why. It stores it in different folders. Alright guys, that's about it. I'll catch up with you on SonyAffiliatte.com. Crazy sky. Ooh.
I gave you a hug, Daddy.
Thanks, bud.
Sorry up on getting your hug.
It's okay. I'm just trying to record some video. It's unbelievable how smooth this thing is. That's full optical. Now this is the intelligent zoom. This is all handheld. You can see the active mode. Works amazingly good. It's pretty sharp looking. Back to full optical, and now I'm zooming out. It's nice and smooth. It's really good. It's the old Z scene I like to use. Very impressive. Sharp. Using that intelligent zoom in video mode, it really maintains the sharpness. Unbelievable. I'll go back to this. Very smooth. See that focus transition?